What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market did well today. S&P 500 up 27 points, up 0.8%. The Dow Jones up 330 points, up 1.2%. And the NASDAQ 100 ended up going up 95 points, up 0.8% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the top stocks that I'm looking to buy as we're finally wrapping up September here and heading into October of 2020. And I also want to go over what stocks I'm involved with. What did I do today? Did I buy anything? Did I sell anything? And I also want to go over some stimulus news as that did end up hitting the stock market here. And we're also going to just go over in general where my head is at right now as an investor, as a trader in the current stock market. So if you guys find value, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check out all the free links down below if you guys want to join our Discord chat, our Facebook group, and if you guys want some free money, 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,600 with a deposit of $100. That's also linked down below. And by the way, if you guys do use that, it's an affiliate link. I also get 2 free stocks, and it's greatly appreciated. So let's get into it. Again, S&P 500, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, they all did well today, but it was a bit rocky. It was a bit rocky despite us doing well today. And let's break it down. First and foremost, let's take a look here on the intraday chart, and you guys can see it was smooth sailing all day. S&P 500 opened up on a nice gap up here at 33.40, saw a massive move to about 33.50 in the first couple of minutes in the session, and then we ended up moving all the way up to 33.90 at the high of the day, giving the S&P, that's a move of around 50 points in a couple of hours. The S&P went up about 1.5% up until that point, and then we saw the crash. And it wasn't a crash of 20%, obviously, but looking at the intraday chart, it's a crash on the small time frame, no doubt about it. We lost pretty much all of the gains from the entire day, which took about a couple of hours. We lost those gains in the span of 1 hour, less than 1 hour, right? And we'll get into that here in a little bit. And going over to this 20-day 1-hour chart, S&P 500 with today's gap up, with today's nice move to 33.90, we ended up breaking out of this 180 SMA. That is very good news. As I've said before on the channel, this is a very big level of resistance stemming back from the beginning of September and really in the middle of September, right? You guys can see we failed breaking out of 34.20, 34.30, and that 180 SMA. And another level of resistance we talked about yesterday was around 33.80, 33.85. And what do you know, guys? The S&P failed breaking out of that point today, which really validates that level as a big point of resistance. I mean, take a look here on the 5-day, 5-minute. It's almost like clockwork, right? We hit 33.90. Yeah, we did momentarily break out of it, but it didn't last long. But one good thing that I'm seeing here is, yeah, we did get rejected at 33.90, which is not good, but we ended up pulling down into the close. We held where we opened at 33.30, 33.40, and we ended up rallying into the close. So we sold off. We held an old level of resistance as a new support, and we held, it's really yesterday's level and the day before, the day before's level of support. So that's very good that we held 33.40 and rallied into the close. So at this point, the S&P is really bouncing in between these two levels, 33.30 and about 33.85. So keep an eye on these 2 points for tomorrow. It's going to be big, a big sign of direction, whether we break below 33.30 or do we end up breaking out of 33.85 to about 33.90. Obviously, if we break 33.90, there's a likelihood that we go higher, maybe 34.30 on the S&P. And if that level breaks, oh man, this could be going back to those all-time highs, no doubt about it, in my personal opinion, right? But let's say 33.30 breaks and we start going back to the 3200s, that is where I'm going to be a bit skeptical of more potential downside. I'll be a bit cautious and worried at that point. But at this point, the bulls are definitely gaining some steam. And we all know historically September has been the worst month in the stock market. And now that it's over, it's finally over, October's coming in, we're starting to see a rally. And that could be psychological. That could have to do with just, I don't know, honestly, guys. It could just be psychological. It could just be a recovery from the terrible September that we had. And speaking of September, S&P 500 ended Wednesday's session higher, but falls 3.9% in September for the first monthly loss since March. So all the months up until now, we've seen monthly gains, except September. So we'll see. Is this going to continue into October? Maybe, maybe not. And speaking of stimulus here, guys, and by no means am I a stimulus guru. I don't follow it like crazy. I'm sure you guys have seen other channels out there that cover the stimulus nonstop every day. You know, go watch those videos. If you guys want to see stimulus videos, I'm not your guy. I'm the stock guy. I'm not the stimulus guy. But either way, what happened today is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin failed to strike a corona. I almost said it. I don't know if I can get demonetized. Either way, you guys know what I mean. They failed to strike a CV stimulus deal during a more than 90-minute meeting on Wednesday. The pair will continue discussions as they try to craft an elusive fifth relief package that could pass both chambers of Congress, the California Democrats said in a statement. Meanwhile, House Democrats plan to vote on their $2.2 trillion rescue legislation later Wednesday, a largely symbolic action as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has already opposed the plan. Speaking to reporters, and this is Mnuchin, I believe, speaking to reporters as he left the Capitol, the Treasury Secretary said the sides, quote, made a lot of progress over the last few days, end quote, according to NBC News. And another quote here, we still don't have an agreement, but we have more work to do. More work to do. Yeah, a lot more work to do. And we're going to see where we end up. So at this point, a bill before the election, not going to happen. But it's really not, in my opinion, and it's just not. And at this point, we know that it's probably going to happen after the election, and the stock market seems to know that as well. I mean, the stock market, maybe it's not pricing it in at this point, but I believe it's going to come regardless. And I'm sure many of you guys will agree with me down below. I mean, what do you think? Are we going to get the stimulus package at some point? Maybe, I believe, in January, a lot of people have been saying. I think that's very possible. And the market's knowing that, understanding that, I think that is why they're running into the close, and they're likely to continue to run here. And once that package comes, I think it's going to go even higher, right? And I could be wrong, but the principle here is as there's more stimulus, money printing, and so forth, there's going to be an increase in asset prices. As the dollar gets devalued, stock prices go up, real estate goes up. That is very likely at this point. But the question is, when is the stimulus package going to come? That's the million-dollar question. And a lot of people are saying, again, after the election, right around January, is when we could potentially expect it. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? And coming over here to the Dow Jones, you guys can see, same as the S&P, we broke out of the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart. We broke out of the high from 2 days ago at 27,700. That is very good. Now we're looking to test the next big resistance, which is right around 28,200 points on the Dow Jones. And if that level breaks, that's where I've said, guys, we might be able to go much higher from there. Maybe, Geez, voice crack, guys. Testing those highs from back in the beginning of September, right? And a good thing that we're seeing here is we hit a higher high, we pulled down, and we actually held above this 27,700 old resistance from 2 days ago as a support, and we consolidated there and rallied into the close. So I'm liking that for the Dow. That's signaling to me that the bulls are in charge right now in the short term, and that there could be more upside here, right? There could be more upside, again, up to about 28,200 points. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ 100 today, guys, very, very good technicals. For the bulls at least, right? We ended up breaking out of the 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, this little downtrend that we were in from the middle towards the beginning of September. That's very good. We held 11K. That is very good as well. And now we're heading to that infamous resistance here, and you guys can clearly see it on the 4-hour chart, and I've been talking about it a lot here on the channel. 11,500. That is where we got rejected back on the 9th, on the 14th, 15th of this month, really just in the middle of September. So if that level breaks on the NASDAQ 100, watch out. I don't know. It could go to all-time highs. I'm not a genie, guys. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's going to break out if 11,500 breaks, maybe back up to 12,000 before a pull down, or maybe straight up to 12,400. Who knows at this point? But all I know is there's going to be a lot of momentum if we do break 11,500. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. It's an interesting time period we're living in right now. We're definitely experiencing history. I mean, we're living in history together here, guys, with stimulus, the election, with the S&P 500, the market's getting crushed back in March. Now they're seeing another pretty bad September. You know, we might rebound into October. We might not. It's really uncertain. So it's just a lot of craziness. And the way that you guys can prepare for more craziness is, of course, to have a lot of cash. But the idea here is, it's kind of like you have to balance how much cash you have, because on one side, cash can allow you to buy into stocks at certain levels and take advantage of opportunities. But on the flip side, a lot of people say cash is trash, right? Be in the market. The Fed has interest rates at 0 until 2023 at least, and this is a recipe for the markets to go higher. So flood as much money into the markets as possible, right? These are some philosophies here around cash. You know, what do you think? Is cash trash? Should you be just all in the markets right now, or do you think it's good to have a nest egg? Me, I'm in the middle, right? I agree that cash is trash, but I'm also on the side that, okay, cash is not trash if you have a plan for that cash. If you have a plan for that cash, let's say you want to buy a house or you want to buy stocks in the next couple of months, if there's volatility, which there's likely to be, then cash isn't trash. If you don't have a plan with the cash, though, then it is trash. If it sits in a savings account for years on end, you're making a massive mistake. But if you're just saving cash in the short term, like I talk about here on the channel a lot, it helps you. It gives you that cushion, and it gives you more opportunity. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? Now, let's get into what I did. And I personally added a bit of AMD today. I opened up a position here in Advanced Micro Devices at $82.25. And I'm actually a little bit under the water on this position. No big deal, because I'm in with a small amount. I'm in with about 20%, 25% of my goal position size, and I plan on adding more if this big resistance coming up breaks. That big resistance being around $83. You guys can see it, $82.80 to about $83. That is where we failed back in the beginning of September, middle of September. And mind you guys, AMD's already reversing in trend. I mean, take a look here on this 2-hour chart, and even on this hourly chart, you guys can see it. We were in a bit of a wedge here, downtrending under main moving averages here on the hourly chart. And the past couple of days, we've broken out of the 180 SMA, 50 SMA moving averages. We've seen a bullish cross, the 50 SMA crossing above the 180 SMA here. And now we're just at a sticking point at $83, which I think once we break, AMD is going to explode, especially if the markets in general do well as well, right? If that happens, I think that's a recipe for an explosion here in AMD, which is why I'm in with a decent amount. and I plan on adding more. And did I even mention I'm in at $82.25? So at this point, down a little bit, but I'm not sweating it, guys. I think there's a lot of upside here with AMD. Excuse me. And I'm still in EA Electronic Arts, which if you guys take a look, I'm in at about 131.20. If you guys see here, it's down to about 130.4 right now. So I'm down a bit on EA, but this is really a longer term swing for me. So very similar to AMD. I'm not sweating it. If anything, I'm going to add more, but I'm not going to add more quite yet. I'm going to just give it a little bit of wiggle room here. If we break out of the mid 130s, out of this 180 SMA here, which is a bit of a resistance right now on the 4-hour chart, that is where I might add some more of EA. But as of now, I'm just holding it. Same here with AMD, and same with my other two positions. I'm still in Workhorse Group, WKHS. This one's been cooling off the past couple of days ever since Trump was pictured with the CEO of Lordstown with the endurance truck back a couple days ago. That's what ended up shooting up the stock in the first place, and it's been selling off since then. I'm not really too worried about this whatsoever, to be honest. This is healthy, right? And I'm personally in around $24. And I plan on holding on to this, like I've been saying in the videos, guys, for a good amount of time. So I'm holding on to Workhorse, and I'm still in Apple, which is doing well, guys. Apple's up almost 2% today, 1.5%. It hit over $116.50. It almost hit $117 today, I believe. Yeah, it did, over $117. So I'm in the profits, guys, finally. I'm in at about $115 now. I added more yesterday at 104. 114.05 is where I added, I believe, yesterday. And I plan on just holding on. I think Apple eventually is going to go back up to the 120s, 130s based on these technicals, right? If we break 117, this 180 SMA here as well on the 4-hour chart, I think Apple's got a big shot of going back up and forming a cut pattern here on the 4-hour. So I'm holding Apple, I'm holding Workhorse, EA, as well as AMD. And I'd love to know what you guys are doing down below in the comments. Please let me know. I'd love to know what the community is up to. And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to do that. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull, valued up to $1,600, which all you have to do is deposit $100 and you get those 2 free stocks, and they're linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into some other stocks. We had what's this new one that came out today, guys? It IPO'd. I know it's PLTR. I forget how to pronounce it. Palantir. It's a tech company. It's a tech company that builds and deploys software platforms for the intelligence community in the U.S. to assist in counterterrorism investigations and operations. And you guys know me. Well, most of you guys know I'm not too big into investing straight away into IPOs, and this is not an exception. I mean, I'm not going to invest in this one either. I'm going to let it ride a little bit, wiggle out, see what it wants to do. But overall, Palantir, which develops data analytics, data analysis software, which we just talked about, held a direct stock listing today, giving existing shareholders the opportunity to sell up to 20% of their stake to new investors. Founded in 2003, unbelievable, guys. 17 years later, they're going public. That's a bit long there. Founded in 2003, Palantir shares have been widely traded on the private market for years, though the company has struggled to maintain the $20.4 billion valuation from a 2015 financing round. The stock at the time was valued at $11.38 and traded this year for between $4.17 and $11.50. And I believe it IPO'd at around $7. It popped to $11, sold back off to about $9. And why I don't like investing in IPOs, and this is not for every IPO, but a lot of the time, guys, when companies go IPO, the private shareholders that have been holding for years, that is when they start dumping out, right? So that signals to me, I don't like that. That signals to me that it's overvalued. They kind of just want to cash out and just get out of it, right? We've seen a lot of that with IPOs, and that's what you guys have to realize and be careful about. For all we know, this could end up going from $11 to $9 down to $5, $7, and I'd hate to see you guys get caught in a stock like this at $10 and just end up bag holding it. So for me, and again, you guys have to do your own research. Don't just do this because of me, but I just like giving it some wiggle room. I like seeing IPOs just play out for a couple of weeks before even consider buying into them. And that's really with all IPOs for me. And on the flip side, yeah, it could end up going from $11 to $20, $25. That's possible. But for me, it's really not worth the risk. And yeah, you guys have to realize a lot of people end up selling out of businesses when they go public because that's kind of their big cash out. When a lot of the public markets come in, they flood money, retail investors, they pop up the valuations, the insiders are selling out. I'm not saying that's happening here with Palantir, but I'm generally speaking that does happen sometimes. And Tesla is another one worth watching this week, guys. TSLA up 2.3%, up about $10 on the day. And why are we watching Tesla? Well, because A, it's Tesla. We always have to watch Tesla. But B, they're reporting earnings in a couple of weeks. And C, more importantly, in the short term at least, they're actually reporting delivery numbers, I believe, on Friday. And analysts think they have an average on Tesla to report 140,000 vehicles according to FactSet. And of those vehicles, 107,500 are going to be Model 3 units, 8,000 are going to be Model S, and 7,300 are going to be Model X. And I believe we saw Elon Musk give a delivery number target of about 500,000 for this year. So if they hit that 140,000, which is very doable in my opinion, they could end up beating that, who knows, but if they hit that, they're going to need 170,000 roughly in the following quarter to hit that 500,000 target. And if that hits, if they beat the target and they guide for more vehicles in the next year, that's going to be fantastic news for Tesla, no doubt about it. And if they have a good earnings report along with good delivery numbers, this stock could maybe go back up to the high 400s. And at this point, we talked about how it's in a wedge, no doubt about it. It's uptrending, but at the same time, it's downtrending, right? Higher lows, but it's also making lower highs. And now we're finally breaking out of the wedge here. You guys can see today's green day got us out of the wedge, and now a big resistance is coming up. We talked about this on my story today on Instagram, which, by the way, follow me there at StasserFest. Link down below, but you could just go on Instagram and type in at StasserFest. You guys can see we talked about it there. 450. If 450 breaks for Tesla, I think that is going to be an explosion. I think that is where we might see that move up to the high 400s, as a lot of momentum is going to come in from there. So we've talked about in the past how Tesla, it runs up to new highs, then it consolidates a bit or even sells off a bit for a good couple of weeks. It did that back before the split. It went from 200 here, up to about 340, sold down to about 270, rallied all the way up to 530, and now from that 530 price, it's sold off to about 350. Now it's up to 420 in the past couple of weeks. So this could very well be the end of that sell-off consolidation period before another massive move. So get ready, guys. Get ready here on ticker symbol TSLA. And Walmart is another one, WMT, which ended up popping very nicely today, very beautifully, up above 138, 139, which was a big level of resistance. We actually got to about $142 today, and what this is telling me is Walmart is picking a direction, and the direction is in favor of the bulls. Let's just put it that way. We're going higher. That is what this is telling me, right? And at this point, We're pulling down. It seems like we are about to hold 140 as a new support, so we'll see if that holds tomorrow. But if it does, we end up creeping back up to 142, maybe mid 140s. That is where I'm looking to capitalize here on Walmart. And we talked about this one yesterday, guys, BBY, and I hope I'm not getting too repetitive with the stocks, but why change it up if the stocks are showing momentum and I want to cover it on the channel, right? So BBY, Best Buy, yeah, we talked about it yesterday, but it still shows a lot of potential, so we're going to talk about it today as well. Very similar to Tesla. Tesla in terms of the pattern, right? We're making higher lows at the same time as we're making lower highs, but the only difference here is BBY has made a clear-cut break, a bullish break out of this wedge. You guys can see it, right? We popped out. We're trading at about 111 at this point, selling off a bit in the close, into the close, which I'm not too worried about. But if we hold this, at a higher low, we end up starting to recover tomorrow into the 112s. I think BBY could end up being a very strong play, right? And I believe earnings are coming up. Actually, no, that's wrong. I don't think they're coming up. That's actually Bed Bath & Beyond. Their earnings are coming up here on Thursday, which is BBBY. And those ticker symbols, like I said yesterday, they're a bit confusing. BBY is Best Buy. Oh my goodness, guys, Best Buy. But BBBY is Bed Bath & Beyond. But either way, guys, check out Best Buy here. I'm liking this bullish break, very similar to what we're seeing with Tesla's pattern, and I'm loving that. And IPOB, oh man, IPOB's been on a tear, guys. This one's gone from about $16 now almost to $20 per share in the past couple of days. And if you guys didn't know, this is actually a new SPAC that's going public, and they're taking Open Door public, which is very similar, not extremely similar to Zillow, but they're in the same space as Zillow with buying and selling real estate and so forth. It's kind of the future of that market, and I actually bought some shares as a long-term position, 100 shares, I believe, a pretty small position here that I plan on adding more to, back at around $16. So I'm very happy with this as a long-term position so far. And obviously, guys, if you're, and this is a misconception, if you're in a long-term position and it goes up in the short term, it doesn't necessarily mean you made a great investment, because it's just a short-term move. And that's kind of what I'm saying here. Just because I got in at $16, now it's up at $19, doesn't make me a genius long-term investor. If anything, it makes me a good trader in the short term, but again, I'm not selling out because it's a long-term investment. So let's say in 5 years, if the stock's at $100, then that's qualified as me making a good long-term investment, if that makes any sense. So I'm watching IPOB here. If we're able to pull down anywhere at about $17.30, maybe I'll be able to get in as a swing trade as well as having shares for the long-term account. We'll see. And another one here I'm watching is SPCE, Virgin Galactic. And what did I say yesterday, guys? I said, watch out for 19. 19 is going to come. It's going to test. And today, we did exactly that. We're at about $19 now. We ended up selling off $1.21 today, down about 6%. And this could end up being a spot that we hold right around $19. Maybe we end up going back up to about $21. But a lot of people in the chat, we were talking about how maybe Virgin Galactic, SPCE here, could test maybe $17.50 at its lowest point, which is why I'm not looking to get in quite yet. I'm in with a long-term position. I've disclosed that before here on the channel, but in terms of a trade, I think we might be going lower in the short term, and I'm rooting for that, right? I'm rooting for that as we have a big event coming up in October. I believe 2 big events, and there's going to be a test flight on the 2nd, I believe, of October, and there's another event maybe on the 22nd as well. I have to double check on that. But Virgin Galactic, I mean, if we can get in on the weakness here, there could be a lot of opportunity in the next couple of weeks. I'd love to be able to scoop some up at 1750, and this time frame here shows you it a bit clearer. And another one is UPWK Upwork, which is doing extremely well, exactly to how we called it out here, guys. We filled the entire gap from $15.60 up to about $17. Now we're looking to break 17 and go back and test those highs from back when they reported earnings. So UPWK, I'm loving it, guys, and you all know that we can actually go higher from here. The all-time high, or at least the high here on the 3-year chart, is at $25 on UPWK. So if 1718 breaks, we could be going higher. So watch out for this one. And NEO, let's wrap it up with NEO here, guys. Up another almost 2% today. On the 4-hour chart, you guys can see a very clear-cut bullish breakout out of this wedge. We hit a high at 22.50, and I've said, and I'm going to say it again, if NEO's able to pull down anywhere in the low 20s, I'm going to add for a swing trade. No doubt about it. On this bullish momentum, on the short-term weakness. That's if we get any short-term weakness. So overall, guys, that is it for this video. I'm going to end up wrapping it up here. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. It's very important to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 20,000, and I'm thinking about doing a special maybe Q&A video for 20,000 or 25,000, and I'm also going to give away some money to you guys, maybe a subscriber, a couple subscribers. We'll see. I'm cooking up something here to give back to you guys just for all the support over the past couple of years, which I really appreciate, you guys. So yeah, hit the like, subscribe, and make sure to check out all the free links again if you guys want to join our Discord chat, Facebook group, and if you guys want those 2 free stocks, those are also linked right down below. So I'll catch you all. Thanks again for watching. It means a lot to me. Be safe out there. Good luck in these crazy markets. Peace out.